over the place at the moment who are threatening to take the game by storm. And there's nary been a week go by on Inside the Ropes this year where the name Hannah Green, Hazy, has not been mentioned.
Andy, I was absolutely disgusted last week.
We
missed bifurcation and we missed Hannah Green. And we had a flood of callers. What are you doing? So we've had to right the ship in a big way this week.
So we haven't got bifurcation on, but we have got Hannah Green on the show, who's been making some significant waves over there in the US on her first year as a pro on the Symetra Tour. She joins us on Inside the Ropes. Hannah, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Have you... there's a lot of stuff we want to talk to you about, and it's lovely to talk to you as opposed to talking about you for a change. But have you, in a nutshell, kind of exceeded all your own expectations this first year out?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I won my fourth event over on the Symetra Tour. I knew I was capable of winning, but I really didn't think it would come so early in the season. I definitely put myself in good position for my next 6 events to hopefully secure my LPGA card. But I did, obviously I have all my goals, but I think I've achieved them a bit quicker than what I thought, so that's always a bonus. So, yeah.
How much pressure does that take off you? I mean, it's remarkable that you can head out your first year, still a teenager, and win a professional tournament on the other side of the planet. In terms of just releasing the pressure on you and making you feel like you belong and you're comfortable and you know, okay, I've got this. How big an achievement was that for you?
Oh, definitely. Obviously, being in the top 10 it's quite a hard goal to achieve because it's completely out of your hand. Like, you have to play as well as you can, but some weeks you don't play well. So for me to be inside the top 10 since my fourth event, it's been really, like you said, it's definitely helped the pressure. I've still got a little bit of a buffer. I've still obviously got to perform well in my last 6 events, but the pressure's not there for me to have a win to creep back into the top 10. So that's nice.
So, Hannah, you're number 5 now, and as you mentioned, the top 10 get a card to play on the main tour next year. What does that mean for the rest of the year? Like, if you stop playing now, for instance, do you think you would stay inside that, or do you need to still get a few results in there to make sure?
Yeah, I think if I'm definitely going back to play. I'm leaving on Sunday, and I'm going to play all 6 events. There's 6 weeks in a row.
Wow.
I think if I didn't play, I would get knocked out of the top 10 because I know the girls that are behind me are obviously playing well enough to win. So
yeah,
I don't want that to happen. But if, say, I won the first 2 events, I think I would still continue playing on the Symetra Tour just so that I have some competition and something to play in. Otherwise, because my season finishes in October, so it's quite early. So I want to keep playing and make as much money as I can.
And how's it been as a pro out on the tour? You know, like I remember Sue O going over to the Symetra Tour a couple of years ago, and she really, really struggled with the personal aspects, the living away from home, being away from family, that sort of stuff, and even just the going from city to city, the money aspects, all that sort of stuff. How's that been going for you? And what are your living arrangements and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I still live in Perth with my parents. I haven't actually gotten a base over in the US just yet. I found financially it was just not, in the plans to do it this year. Never really would have had the chance to actually been home. So I've been on the road for 4 months, just living out of a suitcase with my golf club. So it's a lot harder than you think.
And that's expensive, isn't it? I mean, your prize money, just for the listeners to get a gauge of this, you've won $57,000 this year. So a lot of that's going to be eaten up by the travel. Yes,
exactly. Luckily, I've been with the Symetra Tour. You can actually drive to events, and we can also get housing every week. So obviously that limits some costs, but still for an Australian to be all the way over in the US is going to be expensive. But I think I've done all right this year. I've tried to limit my expenses as much as I can without, not treating myself right. So.
I was going to ask you about that, Hen. It's when you say on the road, you are literally on the road, aren't you? Like you must have seen some incredible things on the interstates and hopefully off the interstate freeway system.
Yes, we've done a lot of driving, a lot more than what I've been used to living in Perth. It's not like I will just drive over to Melbourne for a quick trip, but no, it's been a lot of fun. I've been hanging out with the other Australians and Kiwis on tour, and we've tried to do some touristy stuff along the way, which is a good thing when you've been away for so long. It's nice to break it up a little bit. But no, I think I've done pretty well this year.
What are some of the cool things you've done?
We got to, well, all of us Australians were in San Francisco. We went to Niagara Falls 3 or 4 weeks ago. So there's not too many places that we can say we can do big things like that. But when we get the chance to, we definitely wouldn't put it aside. So, yeah.
Look, reading about you, Hannah, you clearly, for a long time now, I mean, you know, you're 19 now and you're 6-time WA state squad member. You've been playing this game, you know, in earnest for a long time now, and it sounds like you're really committed to this is what you do. You know, you see yourself as a golfer, and you know, you do what it takes to be the best player you can be. It can consume you a little bit. I reckon any time people get, you know, that far into the zone of any of this sort of stuff, how conscious are you at this young age of your kind of golf life balance, getting that right?
Yeah, definitely, because there's a lot of. I was at Mount Worley and I did a junior clinic, and the thing I told the kids was just make sure that you have balance in your life. I remember the year after I graduated high school, I wasn't working or anything, so I was literally at golf every day, just hitting balls and, you know, putting and chipping, and I ended up going backwards almost, and I was just too technical, and I literally didn't have a social life, and I think that really, I guess, shocked me, and so I've definitely tried to balance my life as much as I can. Obviously, I must say I don't practice as long as I used to, but what I do now is definitely more appropriate and going to benefit me. So, yeah, I really think it's important mixing and balancing your life, definitely.
And you know us grubby media types, we always like to sort of, you know, stir up a bit of controversy. I'm going to actually throw you under the bus here. I reckon that you're going to start up a massive rivalry with Nana Madsen. What do you reckon? She's just pipped you at the post in the Women's Australian Open. She's got the Battlefield promotion probably just ahead of you. Hopefully we can get there for you in the next few weeks. Wouldn't it be nice to sort of have an ongoing rivalry so we can really... Because we're too nice to Danish people.
Oh, plus, we want the headline, Hannah v. Nana. I mean, it's just sort of made for it, isn't it?
Oh,
really?
yeah.
You know?
I know. It's just meant to be.
It is.
A good friend.
Tell us you hate her guts and all this stuff that we're going to see some real biffo over the next few years.
Well, if I can win another 2, that'd be great. I'd love to see the headlines. So.
Hey, we are, you know, I don't know whether you're a big consumer of stats and all that sort of stuff, but I was kind of having a look at your stats on the tour this year, and they're really impressive. I mean, it's unbelievable what you've been able to do, and you know, you're top 5 in about 4 or 5 categories, and top 20 in about 3 or 4 others. But one thing I did notice, Hannah, you largely play 3-round events, and the couple of times you played 4-round events, in the 4th round, you've shot 64 and 69 and finished really strong. Do you think that that's a strength of yours, the stamina, your ability to, you know, play that extra round, to grind and grind and grind? Is that something that you see as a real strength of yours once you start playing 4-round events?
Yeah, I think so. I've never seen any of the courses that we play out on tour, and I guess that's one of the disadvantages of being a rookie. I think it really helped me this year with the ALPG season, being able to play all the courses as an amateur. But I just get more comfortable seeing the course before the tournament. I might play 36 holes of practice rounds, and you know, every time we play the 3-round events, I'm urging for another round most of the time. So I really like playing 4 rounds, which is definitely a good benefit because sometimes it's a long week.
Yeah, I bet.
Hannah, I know you've been listening to our podcast, and I'm assuming you've heard all the the WA people in particular sing your physical praises, that you're pumping the boys in the gym, for example. How does that sit with you, for one? But that's got to stand you in good stead in these longer seasons now that you've put in all that hard work as a base.
Yeah, definitely. No, I did listen to that podcast. It was hilarious. But no, that was good. I don't mind, honestly. If I could outlist the guys now, then that'd be pretty impressive, but definitely not. But no, I think it's really important, definitely, that I got into going to the gym early. I actually really enjoy it. So it's not I don't feel like it's a chore or a thing that I have to do, like I'm really wanting to do it. And it's definitely helped with my body being on the road as well, traveling in a car for 8 hours and, playing golf week to week to week. It's definitely helped my stamina, which is really what you need out on the Symetra Tour.
Back in your amateur days, Hannah, you were in the Kari Webb squad, and I think there was some social media activity from Kari after you won in Florida earlier this year. Do you ever sort of get much sort of text contact or anything like that with Kari? Because I think back in those days you went and stayed with her and watched her in a tournament and stuff like that, didn't you?
Yeah. So I've actually reached out to Kari a couple of times. I got to see her at Kingsmill and I got to see her at the US Open this year. She let me stay with the girls, which was really nice. So I definitely reach out to Kari as much as I can, and she's really supportive towards my golf, which is really awesome. And I mean,
it's not a bad resource to have, is it, as a young professional?
Yeah, no, exactly. She knows. I mean, she's been playing golf for 20 odd years. I mean, professionally, so she knows everything about it. So it's really good to have someone who's been at such a high level, and to have her as a close friend and get feedback and ask for advice.
Well, Hannah, hopefully in about 15 years' time, the next wave of teenagers coming through the ranks in Australian golf will be looking up to Hannah Green and hoping that they can rub shoulders with you, and you can teach them about all the bits and pieces they need to know to be the very best player they can be. You made a mighty start, and I hope you don't mind us talking about you all the time on the podcast, but we've enjoyed from afar watching you do what you've been doing. Good luck for the last 6 weeks, and appreciate you joining us on the show.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Good on you. Hannah Green joining us on Inside the Ropes.
The Golf Australia website is now the place to go to look up your handicap